how do you handle being up and down? You've been up and down this year, but how do you handle keeping your mind, on what is going on in the present with, obviously the want and the hopes to get back up to the NHL?
I think you just gotta kind of try to stay in the moment, and everyone's going through the same thing. Everyone wants to to get up to the Kings eventually, but everyone's working hard to get there, and I think that creates a good competitive environment within the team and pushes everyone to work harder and to get better. And it's pretty special to see, like you said, with that many guys that can play in the NHL and will. Everyone is happy for each other when that time has been called. Obviously, there's been a bunch of guys that have been up and down this year, and every single guy is happy for whoever it is, and that's pretty special to see, because it's not usually like that, and you obviously want to be the person going up, but I think everyone's been really happy for whoever it's been, and it's pretty cool to see out of a team, and just shows kind of the people that we have in the organization.
What's up, Kings fans? Welcome back to another episode of Tradin Jabs. Joining me is 2017 second-round draft pick and red-hot forward for the Ontario Reign, Jaret Anderson-Dolan. Chad, thanks for joining Tradin Jabs.
Yeah, no problem at all. Thanks for having me, Jack.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the episode should be Tradin Jads, just given the wordplay here. But we're currently in the midst of the AHL All-Star break, even though unfortunately it was canceled due to COVID concerns. Looking back at the first half of the season for the Ontario Reign, you're 35 games deep. How would you assess, what you guys have been able to put together, given second place in the division?
I think we've had a really good start. There's there've been some ups and downs, but for the most part ups, and I feel like we've continued to grow as a group throughout, even with a lot of changes coming through, just with personnel going up and down and that sort of thing. We've always kind of found a way to get through that and continue to grow, and that's something we're looking to carry into the second half, obviously. But it's been a good start for us, and we're happy where we are right now.
I'll get to the kind of the personnel and the chaos that it's been in just a minute here, but for you as a team, I'd say, what is the turning point in your season? But you guys started like 9-0-1, so there was no turning point. It's just been all out blitz since the beginning. When did you feel that this team had really come together, whether it be the off-season, training camp, last year? Where did you feel like this team really started to click?
I mean, I think obviously that first 9 games was a great start, but I think I think we had a little stretch where we weren't winning as many games, and I think kind of that was good for us after those first 9 games. And I think that's where we all kind of found out what we were really made of, and realized we weren't gonna be putting together 9-game winning streaks and that sort of thing. But other than that, I don't think there was really any key moment. I think we've just been really even keel throughout the whole season, and even when we were on that 9-game winning streak to start, we knew we still had to show up every game, and our coaches have done a great job of keeping us to that, because we know that we have a lot of talent and a lot of prospects and that sort of thing in the dressing room, and some great leadership as well. It's just kind of putting the pieces of the puzzle together. The coaches have done a good job of keeping us to that.
I'm gonna list off some numbers for you, as of recent and on the whole year. You've got 8 goals in the last 8 games, hat trick against San Jose last week. You're over a point per game in the last 10. Point per game average on the season, and tied for second in the AHL in power play goals. When you look at that offensive production, you've improved every year that you've been a part of the organization. What's the secret essentially?
I think just working on different skills every day. I think we have a lot of guys that like to stay on after practice, and even in the shooting room, kind of just putting in extra time there, and we all kind of push each other to do that, and I think that's helped a lot. I think also just confidence and believing in yourself that you can produce at that level, and that's something I really wanted to work on over the off season, and going into this season was contributing more offensively. And I think kind of that defensive side of my game's always been good, but I always, I want to produce and be a guy that can play on the power play, and wherever it is, be relied on in different situations, and just working on your offensive game is just another tool that will get you more minutes. And, it's been going well so far this season.
Yeah, you're a player that plays, on the penalty kill, obviously 5-on-5, and no question, with 9 power play goals, has value on the power play in many ways. But, you talked about being a two-way player. You've got that defensive mindset and that responsibility. Again, that offensive production. In terms of this past offseason, you talked about focusing on being able to create more opportunities and score. What does that consist of when you're trying to improve that at a time where you're away from everyone else?
It's just, you have to hold yourself accountable and kind of look at different players that you want to emulate and see what they do and the positions they put themselves in on the ice to score, and just try to emulate that as much as possible. But it's kind of tough. It's always hard to replace an actual game situation, but just kind of going through the fundamentals of it and getting that down will help you more in the game. And that's something I tried to focus on this summer, and I feel like I took big strides in that sense, and just trying to add different pieces to my game. But obviously something that doesn't ever stop. You got to keep working on it and stay sharp in those categories.
You mentioned leadership a few minutes ago, and one guy that is synonymous and known for leadership is Brett Sutter. 1,000 games this past week in terms of professional hockey, a guy that you've never really heard a bad word about. What's it like seeing a teammate accomplish a milestone like that, and how has he helped your game?
Yeah, it's awesome. It's pretty special to see anyone accomplish that milestone, and especially Brett. He's such an unbelievable person, foremost, and obviously a great hockey player as well. But he means the world to our team. He's kind of the heart and soul, and everyone looks up to him and wants to be like him, because he brings it every night. And even when he's not on his A game, he's bringing something, physically or scoring a goal, or even if he's not doing that, he's just a great leader, and someone that you want to run through a brick wall for. And pretty cool to see him hit that milestone, and he's not done yet. Hopefully has a few more in him.
It's crazy to say this, but somehow you're one of the vets on the team at just 22 years old. In talking to you and your teammates over the past year or two, whether it be conversations or doing features on LA Kings Insider, you're someone who has definitely turned into a leader. Where does that come from you? Is that something that you've learned from Brett, or is it just something in previous levels that you were able to kind of follow the ropes and take to the next level now that you're getting there in terms of being one of those guys that's looked up to?
Yeah, I think it's just a combination of being around great people at all levels, whether that's coaches, my parents, teammates, everyone you're around. You can take things away from them and learn from them. And I've been lucky to be around some pretty incredible leaders in my career so far. And Brett's definitely one of them. There's a bunch of guys in Spokane in junior that I looked up to a lot when I was a 16-year-old. Like I said, I think it's just kind of learning from those guys and learning from athletes that you look up to as well. But I think that's just a thing that you have to kind of lead by example, and that's kind of what I've taken from all those guys mostly.
And kind of the last big question I have here is, in talking to Jared Shaffrin, the Reign's head of PR and media, he talks a lot about how your team is very close and how you guys all root for each other's success, even on what is such a competitive team full of people that are going to be NHL ready or are NHL ready at this point. You've got 45 games in the NHL. How do you handle being up and down? You've been up and down this year, but how do you handle keeping your mind on what is going on in the present with obviously the want and the hopes to get back up to the NHL?
I think you just gotta kind of try to stay in the moment, and everyone's going through the same thing. Everyone wants to to get up to the Kings eventually, but everyone's working hard to get there, and I think that creates a good competitive environment within the team and pushes everyone to work harder and to get better. And it's pretty special to see. Like you said, with that many guys that can play in the NHL and will, everyone is happy for each other when that time has been called. Obviously, there's been a bunch of guys that have been up and down this year, and every single guy is happy for whoever it is, and that's pretty special to see, because it's not usually like that, and you obviously want to be the person going up, but I think everyone's been really happy for whoever it's been, and it's pretty cool to see out of a team, and just shows kind of the people that we have in the organization.
Yeah, well, no question that goes a long way in terms of personality in the locker room, atmosphere as well. But we'll finish up here with some quick hits, just some quick questions, a little off the cuff. In terms of watching things other than hockey, what is something that you are watching now, or like to stream, whether it be TV or Netflix or whatever?
I just started the Man in the Arena. It's the Tom Brady docu-series. I've been watching that. I watched it on the plane yesterday. It's pretty good. And then I just finished Succession on HBO. That's a pretty good one too, but I try to just kind of switch it up and kind of look for different ones. Got a bunch of teammates that can suggest them, so try to dip into many different genres as possible.
Yeah, for Man in the Arena, obviously Brady's, the best football player of all time, and is one of the best leaders. Is he someone that you kind of try to take some notes from in terms of how to be a good leader? Yeah,
absolutely. He's, like you said, the best to ever do it, and that's a show that it's pretty incredible to see kind of what he went through. In his career, but just he talks about all his teammates talk about just the type of teammate and person he was. So you can definitely take things away from that. But I try to watch those kind of things, but also take watch shows and try to take my mind off of everything and kind of just shut down as well.
Absolutely. Favorite hockey player growing up?
Sidney Crosby. I was a huge fan of his since he came to the league, and I was a Penguins fan growing up because of that. So always tried to always watched him, and remember going to a game he played in Calgary, getting tickets to that, and one of those moments I remember from growing up.
Yeah, similar game styles as well, which would emulate and be a good reason on why he was your favorite player growing up. Most embarrassing song on Spotify?
On my playlist?
Yeah.
Oh man, I don't know. I got probably some Taylor Swift. I don't know exactly what song.
Yeah, nothing to be ashamed about.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone's got that.
Exactly, yeah. And then last one here, favorite type of food?
Like everything. I like pizza when I can kind of have a cheat meal, but usually favorite meal, probably my last meal would just be a good steak and potatoes and veggies. Keep it simple.
Let's go favorite home cooked meal.
I like home cooked pasta. Usually I don't make it a lot, but when it's made at home, it's extra
something special. There you go.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome. Well, Jaret Anderson-Dolan, thanks for joining Tradin Jads today.
Perfect. Thanks, Jack.